All right, settle down, you maniacs. Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 cartoon shows of all time. Yeah, you heard me, all time. It's a bold claim, I know. Like that time I tried to convince Lois that a lifetime supply of Pawtucket Patriot Ale was a sound financial investment. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But hey, we're here to talk about cartoons, those glorious animated distractions that kept us glued to the tube when we should have been doing homework or, contributing to society. These shows, the ones we're about to dissect with the precision of a drunken surgeon, looking at you, Dr. Hartman, have captured our hearts, made us laugh, and even made us think. Which is more than I can say for most reality television, am I right? So why a top 10 list? Because the internet loves lists, that's why. It's like catnip for people who have strong opinions about things that, in the grand scheme of things, are about as important as Peter's latest get-rich-quick scheme. But these aren't just cartoons. These are the titans, the juggernauts, the shows that made you wish you lived in a pineapple under the sea, or could bend the elements, or had a talking dog who was smarter than everyone in your family. Not naming names, Brian. We're talking about shows that transcended their medium, becoming cultural touchstones, much like my own contributions to the animated landscape, if I do say so myself. Modesty is for people who haven't created a talking baby bent on world domination. Get ready to agree, disagree, and probably yell at your screen. It's all part of the fun, like watching Quagmire try to explain his internet search history. We've got a lineup that spans decades, from the black and white classics that your grandparents probably watched while complaining about jazz music, to the modern marvels that make you question the very fabric of reality, and whether or not your toaster is secretly judging your life choices. So grab your bowl of sugary cereal, ignore your responsibilities for a bit, and let's dive headfirst into this animated rabbit hole, or, whatever hole these characters crawl out of. Kicking things off at number 10, we've got Teen Titans. Now, this wasn't your dad's Justice League, all stoic and posing like they're waiting for a Sears portrait. No, these guys were angsty, they were funny, and they actually had, it was like Friends, but with superpowers and less whining about being on a break. You had Robin, the brooding leader, still trying to escape Batman's shadow. Talk about daddy issues, am I right? Then there was Starfire, the alien princess who was basically a golden retriever in human form, if golden retrievers could shoot star bolts and had a peculiar grasp of Earth idioms. It was a perfect mix of action, comedy and emotional arcs, especially for younger audiences who weren't quite ready for the existential dread of, say, a talking sponge. The animation style was this cool, anime-influenced look, which was pretty fresh for American cartoons at the time. It made the fight scenes pop, and the quiet moments, well, they were surprisingly quiet and effective. They tackled some pretty decent themes too. Friendship, betrayal, what it means to be a hero when you're still figuring out how to do your own laundry. It wasn't afraid to get a little dark sometimes, but it always managed to pull back with a well-timed joke from Beast Boy or Cyborg. It's the kind of show that makes you think, yeah, I could be a superhero, right before you trip over your own feet trying to get another bag of chips. A solid entry, like a well-placed giggity. All right, at number 9, we're venturing into the land of ooh with Adventure Time. Now, on the surface, this show looks like it was drawn by a kid who just chugged a 2-litre bottle of soda and ate a whole bag of sugar. You've got a boy and his magical talking dog, a princess made of bubblegum, and a king who's obsessed with ice. Sounds like a fever dream, right? And it kind of is, but in the best possible way. It's whimsical, it's bizarre, and it's got more layers than a 7-layer dip at a Super Bowl party hosted by Cleveland Brown, which, by the way, always has surprisingly good dip. But here's the kicker: underneath all that candy-coated craziness, Adventure Time was surprisingly deep and, dare I say, poetic. It explored themes of friendship, loss, growing up, and even the aftermath of a vaguely alluded to apocalypse. It was like finding a philosophy textbook hidden inside a comic book. The characters, Finn and Jake, started off as simple adventurers, but they grew and changed over the seasons, facing moral dilemmas that would make Peter Griffin's head spin if he ever thought about anything deeper than his next meal. It was a show that wasn't afraid to be silly one minute and then hit you with an existential gut punch the next. Mathematical. Coming in at number 8, we've got Gravity Falls. Now this was a show that knew what it was doing from minute one. It's like that one smart kid in class who always had the answers but wasn't annoying about it, mostly. Dipper and Mabel Pines, two city kids sent to spend the summer with their grunkle Stan in a town where weird is an understatement. Think of it as the X-Files for kids, but with more glitter and grappling hooks. The writing was so sharp you could shave with it. And believe me, I've tried shaving with some dull stuff in my day. What made Gravity Falls a modern classic was its perfect blend of smart writing, genuine mysteries that had the internet buzzing like a hornet's nest in a meth lab, and humour that landed for both kids and adults. And the emotional depth, forget about it. The relationship between Dipper and Mabel, the sacrifices they made for each other, it was genuinely touching. It wasn't just about gnomes puking rainbows or a disembodied triangular dream demon trying to take over the world. Though, admittedly, Bill Cipher was a fantastic villain, the kind you love to hate, like that one network executive who keeps trying to give notes on shows. It was a complete story, with a beginning, a middle, and a satisfying end, which is more than you can say for some shows that just peter out. Chapter 4, number 7, The Dark Knight gets animated and it's glorious. Batman, the animated series, 1992. All right, number 7. This one's a game changer, folks. Batman, the animated series. Before this, superhero cartoons were mostly, let's be honest, brightly coloured toy commercials. Fun, sure, but not exactly high art. Then this show swooped in, darker than a Gotham City alleyway on a moonless night, and completely redefined what a superhero cartoon could be. It had this incredible noir style, like something out of a 1940s detective movie if the detective dressed like a bat and beat up clowns, which, come to think of it, isn't too far off from some of my weekends. This wasn't just pow, bam, socko stuff. It had mature themes, complex villains with actual motivations. I mean, Mr. Freeze's origin story, heartbreaking, and the voice acting, legendary. Kevin Conroy Batman, Mark Hamill the Joker, end of discussion. It treated its audience, even the kids, with intelligence. It wasn't afraid to be serious, to be dramatic, to explore the psychological toll of being a caped crusader. It elevated the entire genre, proving that animation could be just as compelling and sophisticated as live action. It set a standard that, frankly, a lot of shows are still trying to reach. It's like the difference between a finely aged scotch and whatever hooch Peter's brewing in the basement. Chapter 5, number 6, When Science Got Sick, Twisted and Hilarious, Rick and Morty, 2013. Sliding into number 6, it's the show that makes you question your intelligence, your sanity, and possibly the edibility of Szechuan sauce, Rick and Morty. Now, this ain't your grandpa's sci-fi, unless your grandpa was a nihilistic, alcoholic super genius who dragged his terrified grandson across infinite dimensions. It's a whirlwind of sci-fi brilliance, dark comedy that's blacker than a black hole's tuxedo, and surprisingly deep existential themes all mixed up with a level of absurdity that would make Salvador Dali say, "Whoa, maybe tone it down a bit, fellas." The sheer creativity on display is mind-boggling. Every episode throws a dozen insane concepts at you, any one of which could be its own series. But beneath the interdimensional cable gags and the morally questionable science experiments, there's a surprising amount of pathos. Rick's cynicism, Morty's trauma, the dysfunctional family dynamics. It's heavy stuff, man, wrapped in a package of fart jokes and alien goo. It's the kind of show that makes you laugh until you cry and then cry a little more because you realise we're all just specks of dust in an uncaring universe. Or maybe that's just me after too much Pawtucket Patriot. Wubba lubba dub dub indeed. Chapter 6, number 5. The original anarchists of animation, Tom and Jerry, debut 1940. Alright, cracking the top 5, we've got the original masters of mayhem, the godfathers of cartoon violence, Tom and Jerry. Debuting way back in 1940, these two have been trying to outsmart, outwit and generally pulverize each other for longer than most of us have been alive. And here's the thing, it's still funny, it's pure unadulterated slapstick, a ballet of destruction set to a fantastic orchestral score, no dialogue needed, just the universal language of a cat getting an anvil dropped on his head or a mouse using dynamite like it's a party popper. Think about it, these shorts influenced generations of animation, the timing, the visual gags, the sheer creativity in finding new ways for a cat and mouse to inflict cartoonish pain on each other. It's genius. It's the kind of primal humor that appeals to the little kid in all of us, the one who laughs when someone slips on a banana peel. Except here, the banana peel is probably rigged with explosives, and the person slipping is a cat who, let's be honest, usually has it coming. It's classic cat and mouse chaos that proved you don't need witty banter or complex plot lines when you've got a frying pan and impeccable comedic timing. It's the foundation, the bedrock, like the first time Peter discovered beer. A momentous occasion. Chapter 7, number 4. What's up, Doc? An icon, that's what. Looney Tunes, debut 1930s. Hopping into the number 4 spot, it's the one, the only Looney Tunes. We're talking Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Tweety, Sylvester, the whole unhinged gang. These guys weren't just cartoon characters, they were anarchists, a vaudeville troupe trapped in an animator's inkwell. Debuting in the 1930s, they basically wrote the playbook on cartoon comedy. The witty dialogue, the fourth wall breaks, the sheer unadulterated zaniness, it was revolutionary stuff, and it's still hilarious today, my God. The meta-humor in Duck Amuck, years ahead of its time. These characters are more than just drawings, they're cultural icons. Bugs Bunny, the ultimate wisecracking trickster, always one step ahead of Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam. Daffy Duck, the greedy, egomaniacal foil, constantly getting his beak blown off. It's timeless slapstick mixed with surprisingly clever wordplay. They pushed boundaries, they lampooned everything, and they did it with a style and energy that's rarely been matched. It's like they mainlined coffee and pure chaotic energy before every short. You could watch these for hours and still find new gags. That's all, folks. Well, not quite. We still have 3 more to go, so don't go anywhere, you knuckleheads. Chapter 8. Number 3, DOH, the family that defined a generation or two. The Simpsons, debut, 1989. All right, we're in the top 3 now. And at number 3, it's the yellow-skinned family that pretty much owned pop culture for like ever, The Simpsons. Debuting as shorts in 87 and then as its own series in 89. This show isn't just a cartoon, it's an institution. It's the longest running animated series, the longest running sitcom, probably the longest running at this point, besides maybe Keith Richards. The impact this show had, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, is immeasurable. Everybody was quoting Homer, Bart was a national menace, and DOH became a universally understood expression of frustration. The brilliance of The Simpsons in its golden era was its razor-sharp satire, its incredible cast of memorable Springfield residents, and its ability to be both hilariously absurd and surprisingly heartfelt. It tackled social issues, politics, religion, family life. Nothing was off limits. And the writing, my God, the density of the jokes, the cutaways, the sheer comedic genius packed into every episode was astounding. It was like a masterclass in comedy writing. Sure, people argue about when it stopped being good, but for a solid decade or more, The Simpsons was untouchable, a cultural juggernaut that defined a generation. It's like that perfectly aged cheese, even if some of the newer slices are a bit different. Chapter 9. Number 2. The Boy Who Mastered More Than Just Air, Avatar, The Last Airbender, debut 2005. Coming in at a very close number 2, it's Avatar, The Last Airbender. Now, hold on. Before you start throwing your boomerangs and water whips at the screen, hear me out. This show, which debuted in 2005, was something special. It took the kid with a destiny trope and elevated it to an art form. We're talking deep storytelling, character development that would make a novelist weep with joy, and cultural themes rarely seen with such nuance in Western animation. It was like Star Wars meets Kung Fu with a dash of Hayao Miyazaki if George Lucas had actually planned out his prequels. This wasn't just about Aang learning to bend the 4 elements. It was about war, genocide, imperialism, propaganda, redemption, and the struggle to maintain hope in a world consumed by conflict. Heavy stuff for a kids' show, right? But it handled these themes with such grace and intelligence. The characters, Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, Zuko, what an arc. They felt real. You cared about them, you rooted for them, you felt their pain and their triumphs. The world building was incredible, the animation beautiful, the fight choreography, inspired by actual martial arts, was breathtaking. It's a show that respects its audience no matter their age and delivers a truly epic, emotionally resonant story from beginning to end. Flameo Hotman. Chapter 10. Number 1. Who lives in a pineapple and is apparently an all-time great? SpongeBob SquarePants, debut 1999. And here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for, or maybe the moment you've been dreading, so you can furiously type in the comments. At number 1, it's the absorbent yellow porous fellow himself, SpongeBob SquarePants. Debuting in 1999, this show about a perpetually optimistic sea sponge and his dim-witted starfish best friend became a global phenomenon. Why? Because it's endlessly popular, meme-worthy beyond belief, and beneath all the nautical nonsense and silliness, there's some surprisingly smart, surreal, and often subversive humor. It's like if the Marx Brothers were reincarnated as sea creatures and given their own show on Nickelodeon. SpongeBob captured a certain brand of joyful absurdity that resonated with kids and, let's be honest, a whole lot of adults who appreciated its clever wordplay and bizarre scenarios. The early seasons, in particular, are comedic gold. The dynamic between SpongeBob's relentless optimism, Squidward's perpetual misery, Patrick's innocent idiocy, and Mr. Krabs' insatiable greed created a perfect storm of comedic conflict. It spawned movies, merchandise, and a million I'm ready jokes. It's a show that doesn't take itself too seriously, and in a world that's often serious, that's a breath of fresh, bubbly air. Or, fresh, bubbly water. He lives in a pineapple. For crying out loud, it's ridiculous, and that's why we love it. Well, that's that, you magnificent weirdos. And there you have it, our highly debatable, painstakingly assembled, and probably already controversial list of the top 10 cartoon shows of all time. Phew, I need a drink, or maybe just a long nap in a comfortable chair like the one I have that's perfectly molded to my... Well, never mind. Thanks for joining us on this nostalgic journey through the best cartoon shows of all time. We laughed, we cried, mostly from laughing, or maybe it was the onions I was cutting earlier, who can say. And we definitely remembered why these animated marvels hold such a special place in our hearts. It's like looking back at old family photos, if your family included a talking sponge, a boy who could bend air, and a dysfunctional yellow family from Springfield. These shows are more than just moving drawings, they're cultural artifacts, time capsules of creativity, and, for many of us, a cherished part of growing up, or in some cases, a cherished part of growing up, which I can fully endorse. From the timeless slapstick of Tom and Jerry to the complex narratives of Avatar, each one of these series brought something unique to the table. Kind of like that time Peter brought a live ostrich to Thanksgiving. It was memorable, I'll give him that. So, what did you think of our list? Did your favourite make the cut? Are you currently composing an angry comment in all caps? We want to hear it all. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on your favourite cartoon show. Let us know which ones we criminally underrated or which ones you think are overrated. The great cartoon debate rages on, and frankly, it's more entertaining than most congressional hearings. Until next time, keep watching cartoons, keep laughing, and try not to take life or cartoon lists too seriously. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think there's a marathon of the Cleveland show on, and I wouldn't want to miss, well, anything really. Giggity.